So, hey people, it's May 13th, 6:44 p.m. And this is the new build of Repaint that Shiro released. Well, a bit of a disingenuous person there because this isn't released to the public, but whatever. I won't be putting this public until it's public, standard procedure. But yeah, this game. This game always gets me. Let's load up this. Oh god, we're gonna have to go through this again. Oh man, this is honestly really affecting. I don't. I like. Oh man, that's how well he's characterized his characters to the point where just that, and nothing else. But sure, that's not her. That's not her voice. You've come so far since the day you fled our parents' home, and you've gone further still even after I passed. This is all I've wanted for the two of us, to build a happy life outside of our parents' shadow. And I hope you will go even farther without bearing the weight of guilt on your shoulders. I'm gone. You don't need to carry me any longer. I've never once blamed you. This is a really fucking. This is just a gun punch immediately. What a fucking way to start this. You will always be my dear little brother. Oh boy. We're back with the main character now. I waded into the icy black water of Bradley Lake, the cold cutting through my skin like a knife. Thrashed against the waves, I grabbed the unmoving mass, floated on the lake's surface, and dragged it back to shore. The mass was two people, heavy and still. Dread crawled up my spine as I struggled to heave them both into dry land. Suddenly, rasps and coughs filled the air as the two prone bodies struggled to refill their lungs with air. A leaf washed over me as I collapsed next to them. So, Herschel, are you okay? They're both coughing up a storm, but thankfully still alive. This has left a nasty bloody bruise in his forehead, and Herschel's sides were cut up and slowly bleeding. Probably from the glass of the car window. Herschel sat up, shivering and spluttering, eyes half lit in an oxygen-deprived haze. Cecilia. Huh? Oh, we made it. Cecil okay? Yeah, he seems okay, just catching his breath. Looks like he got hit over the head pretty hard. It'll be a while before he wakes up. Turned toward Herschel, all the stress in the last several hours spilling out. So damn worried you two were under the water for so long. We made it out alive. What you would have done if you two didn't come back? Herschel was shivering in some frigid night air as he checked over Sis's prone body. Satisfied for the time being, he glanced up. What about those slugs that were chasing us? Where are they now? When they were shooting us during the car chase after you two fell in the water, I think he just assumed you two drowned. Owen said that thug was probably returning to the warehouse at the top of the hill where his buddy and Philip were fighting it out. I was down the road worriedly. Then he had dropped me off here and then sped off to rescue Philip. Hope they're doing okay. Speak of the devil, two of us jumped at the side of an approaching motorcycle. Popped my head out from the bushes we were hiding behind to see him. Owen riding slowly down the road with Philip hanging limply in the seat behind him. Shit. I wiped him down anxiously. He smiled and gave his passenger a gentle nudge. Hey, we're here. Owen lifted his head up tiredly. black cat jacket wrapped tightly around his left shoulder, dripping with something dark and wet. Rushed over to their side, a lump growing at my throat. Is everything okay? Oh, I'm just dandy, thanks. My shoulder's not as bad as it looks, just got grazed a little. I feel less embarrassed that I wasn't an idiot and twisted my ankle on my way out. Glancing down, I could see Philip's ankle hanging limply against the side of the motorcycle. A nasty purplish unit swelled up like an oversized thumb. Okay then. Try to play cool, you're a fucking mess. Hurry up and get better so I can yell at you properly for pulling suicidal stunts. Says the guy you decided to negotiate with a mob family. But you agreed to come with me. Well, yeah, it wouldn't have been dumb. It would have been dumber to go alone. I'll turn towards me curiously. I'm surprised that Owen ran into you and insisted on his way out. What brought you guys here? Oh, it's a long story. We were afraid Sissel's boss might do something dangerous, so we ended up calling this informant who knows stuff about crimes and whatnot. Told us to hurry here tonight. An informant? Morse. Oh, so we can pick up his damn phone. She limped out from behind the bush and approached us warily. Not to interrupt your little chat, but shouldn't we be worried about those thugs coming back? And flashed a mischievous grin. Maybe, but they'll have trouble getting here. Managed to tail that black car without being seen. After that skinny guy outran the warehouse to help his buddy, I put his car in neutral and rolled it down a hill somewhere. Should buy some time. Finally, some good news. Night has been a shit show, but at least everyone made it out in one piece. Everyone holding up okay? No tired mumbles and groans, except for Herschel. He stood quietly, staring over at each of us with a pained expression. I could see the thoughts swimming across his face as plain as day. Case first turned to me, who nearly tumbled out of a truck going 80 miles an hour, trying to drag him to safety. Drifted over to Philip's nasty wound and swollen ankle, and then to Owen, who drove him through a little gunfight. Finally, Herschel stared down towards Sissel's shivering, unconscious body on the ground, his blood-stained forehead glistening in the moonlight. You kids shouldn't have gone through all this for my sake. Exchanged stubborn looks before turning to Herschel. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. This is our friend. What else are friends for? Better carry yourself, dude. Took up running on Herschel's shoulder. Not cold at the touch, still frigid from his dip in the lake. You know, Sissel spent the whole day moping and trying to figure out how to talk to you again. He had a lot to think about, but he still cares about you a lot. Be a shameful if all that moping was for nothing, right? Owen and I glanced toward Philip expectantly. It was clearly his turn to say something encouraging. He just shrugged and then winced and gripped his bloodied shoulder. I, don't know good words for this kind of situation. Riveting. Inspiring, isn't he? Feel all the warm and bubbly inside. Oh boy, animation, okay. That's cool. Oh, and little yelp as Philip shoved him out the motorcycle. Alright, fine. Peered over Herschel's slouched figure warily. Don't get shot, dumbass. People care about you. That's not a bad thing. Wow. Philip, you're not allowed to give encouraging speech anymore. What? I said what you wanted me to say. Not like that. You want someone to give good pep talk, go ask Ginny. Just here to make sure you don't do anything stupid. Winced and I hit low. Sorry. Stared at the older man carefully. I'm looking for an apology. Just treat yourself a little better next time, yeah? She felt quiet. It looked like he wanted to say something, but just let out a deep, long sigh. We can worry about me later. Let's get you kids out of here. About that. Truck's at the bottom of the lake right now. We can't all fit on Owen's gross orange bike. It's a bit lost. asked. Well, I guess we could hide out in Bramley Woods for the night. Like a fun little camping trip. Oh, and there are murderers hunting us. I refuse to be an idiot in a bad horror movie. As it mentioned, Philip and Cecil are both hurt. It's best we get them patched up as soon as possible. Staying out here is out the question, huh? I could try to drive each of you back to Granny one by one, but that would take hours. Not to mention, we're not even sure if it's safe to go home. Let's see that you two are still alive. We all suddenly froze at the sound of a car slowly approaching, its wheels grinding quietly against gravel. Low the headlights gleamed across the road in our direction. Hide! They went up behind bushes and held their breaths. To my mild relief and nervousness, it was a gray car we hadn't seen before. The vehicle was rather shabby with dents and scratches littering across its aged surface. The car slowed well near a hiding spot, and a tall man stepped out. A pair of hawk-like eyes gleamed in the night as he approached. You left your phone GPS tracking on, kid. Please tell me you didn't break another limb. Not looking forward to another lengthy conversation with your mother. Will poked his head out of the bush with a withered look. Well, maybe if someone actually picked up his phone. What? Dude, it's like 80 degrees outside. He mumbled something under his scarred face. I'm taking measures to protect my identity. Do you also take constructive criticism? No. Where's the rest, you little grope? Moore stepped closer and caught sight of everyone squatting behind a very stealthy bush. He opened his mouth as if to say something sarcastic, but froze. His hawk-like amber eyes widened as he caught sight of Cecil's unconscious body and Philip's bloodied shoulder. You're all a mess. Thankfully alive. Glad. Thanks for directing us here tonight, Morris. I never would have made it otherwise. Ideally, you kids wouldn't have to deal with all this at all, but these aren't exactly ideal circumstances, I suppose. There was a lot for lowering the brim of his hat to hide his already obscured face. To the new folks around here, I'm Morris, a criminal informant by trade. Your friend Philip is cashing in a few favors for your safety. Morris glanced back towards the road. I assume the Lorelei family's underlings are on the lookout for you right now. It'd be rather troublesome if you're discovered. You lot best come with me for now. Safe place for you to rest and recover while I help you sort this mess out. Oh, so they're going into hiding now. That's not exactly what I expected in this route, but cool. Just for to fall into his car. Fortunately, I struggled to gently carry Cecil in the back seat, and stared at Morris strangely. Have we met before? Kinda look familiar. No, I don't. Morris snapped the car door shut and revved the engine to life. Follow me. We're heading to the robin's nest. Where the fuck is that? We all squeezed into Morris's beat-up car with Owen following closely behind his beloved ice-over motorbike. Exhaustion overtook us during the ride to Morris's little hideout. My eyelids were growing heavy and my limbs were sore from the night's events. By the time Morris was pulling out a dingy and secluded corner of the city, he was already fast asleep. Oh right, his fucking bar, that's where. The car slowed to a stop and I felt someone gently nudge my shoulder. Are we there already? Yawned and blinked, raising his head from where it rested on his shoulder. Looked like he still hasn't woken up. Owen poked his head in his car window after parking his bike in the Robin's House parking lot. Caught sight of Philip, Cecil, and I curled up in a sleepy pile in the back seats and smiled. Looks like we made it. You guys doing okay? Tired. There was a clack as Morris stepped out of the car. You kids can get some proper sleep when you settle inside. I own this entire mixed-use building. There's an open apartment upstairs you can use as a refuge while we sort out this whole mess. Thanks, Morris. You know, you're a pretty swell guy despite the little criminal thing and all the glaring you do. Morris shot me a withered look before walking off. I was towards the front of the car where Herschel sat in the passenger seat. It looked like he didn't sleep a wink. He was staring anxiously at his reflection in the rearview mirror. About third as he studied his nephew's unconscious state. When he noticed my gaze, Herschel could look elsewhere. Hey, it's okay, Herschel. Just gonna wake up before you know it. Just looking forward to talking with you. Herschel said nothing and hung his head low, his gaze fixed at his feet. I sighed and reached down to gently hold Sissel's hand. And without the old people trying to murder us fiascos would be a difficult rift to mend. Memory of the previous timeline where Sissel ran away from everything and Herschel's broken spirit was still fresh in my mind. Compared to that, here we still had a fighting chance. Grips his hand tightly and buried my face against his neck. Oh, what the fuck? Don't do that to me, Maeve. Fuck you. Everything will be okay this time around, I swear it. It's kind of hard to swear when you don't exactly know what's going to happen. Glancing outside, I spotted Norris approaching a stern-looking bouncer stationed at the front of the Robinson's lounge. The bouncer peered at us huddling inside the car with a raised brow. Who's this supposed to be? They're my guests. Tying up security for the next few days while they're here. Oh, you're talking to taking another bunch of strays. That's just like you, boss. Don't worry, I'll make sure the place is locked down for any prying. Spencer's face split into a playful grin. Gonna be adopting them like Jenny and Phil if the place turned into a daycare. From across the parking lot, I could see Morris visibly roll his eye before returning to the car. I was tearing my bouncer. You'll ensure no one enters the building without a permission and knowledge. You're all safe here. They hurry inside. Philip's bleeding all over the car seats. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Hidden inside the robin's nest at more than expected, Herschel and I gingerly carried Sizzle sleeping forward to the narrow hallway, taking extra care not to bump his head. Behind us, Philip and Owen were squabbling over whether he should be carried bridal style or something more dignified. Profound sense of deja vu washed over me as we shuffled through the narrow hallways of the Robin's Nest. We've never actually been here in this timeline, have I? It was Ginny who took me here last time. Owen and Herschel were befuddled with their own why the hell is there a bar lounge hidden behind another bar lounge room before Morris set us up a cramped staircase. Morris herded us into a rather small apartment on the second floor, immediately pulling out a first aid kit and fussing over our injuries. Owen and I were relatively unharmed. Worst I got was some chafing burns where I was grabbed after falling off a speeding truck. Yeah, that would injure you, wouldn't it? That would. Morris busied himself with bandaging up Philip's shoulder and shoving his swollen ankle into a medical boot. Sissel was laid out across the couch with an ice pack for his swollen head injury, while Sissel got all the cuts and bruises cleaned. Thankfully, no one seemed serious as he hurt us a little banged up. Well, now that I'm sure you'll survive the night, I'm going downstairs to make a few calls with my contacts. We need to have a clear understanding of your situation with the Loreleys. Probably that they successfully killed Sissel and Herschel tonight, which lessens some pressure on our end, but its intense amber eyes appeared over each of us. They'll be on the lookout for a meddling third party when interfere with their business. You will all be in danger if you're spotted by the Loreleys at any point. None of you are to leave this building until we find a way to defuse the situation. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Thank you for helping us. Sorry, my family's being a pain in the ass. I appreciate the help, man. Well, we ditched all the painkillers he just took. We just bootleg to say, is it to say I'm not really going anywhere? Or shot us all doubtful looks. Oof. I know I'm asking for the impossible, but stay out of trouble. Be downstairs if you need anything. And with that, the tall informant left us to our own devices. Almost immediately, Herschel quietly dismissed himself and fled to one of the small bedrooms under word. His face was clouded with guilt and frustration and a general storm of anxiety before it was quickly hidden behind a shut door. He's not taking things very well, is he? A long, exhausted sigh and plopped down on the couch as his sleeping body. I can't blame him. It's been one hell of a day. Just this morning, well, yesterday morning, he had to confess his greatest shame and secret to Sissel and nearly lost his life. Everyone here probably just needs to just process everything. Sure, it'll come around with time. Instead, it has a peaceful, sleeping face. Now, if only Sissel will hurry and wake up. Everything feels weird and quiet without him.
Sissel's always had a thick skull on him. I'm sure he'll be fine. What, are you already feeling some of that boyfriend separation anxiety?
Honestly, yeah. Just want to give him a hug and make sure that dip in the leg didn't jiggle in his brain too hard. Flop down top of Sissel, bearing my face in his chest. Wow, okay then. Come on, wake up. He's only a cute pet name, Jesus. What? Something like a wide grin.
You two are so cute. Glad I helped play matchmaker for you first date. Sacrificing the fancy restaurant was worth it to see you make an honest man out of a still Sissel.
I'm just glad I don't have to listen to him pining all day. My face flushed with heat as I stretched my hands sheepishly. Jesus Christ. Geez, it's only been 2 days, yeah, pretty much. I mean, boy, I feel out of it. My head is all fuzzy. But yeah, it's been really nice to ignore all the murder and drowning. Lucky to have this big doofus. And smirked and wagged his eyebrows suggestively. Oh my fucking god. Grouse.
What? I just wanted to help you helpful in case this is any of my expertise. I can offer plenty of tips to...
Oh my god. Fucking Christ. I never kiss and tell. That's all between Sissel and me. You'll just have to use your imagination on details.
No, that's no fun.
Oh, thank God, another sane person. Yeah, pretty much. I love Philip. Yes, thank you. Please keep all that in the bedroom. A melodramatic and defeated sigh.
Alright, fine. Keep your secrets.
Did you really just reference a fucking movie? Alright, fine. Keep your secret. Damn it.
That's right, Owen. Stay jealous. Jesus Christ, dude.
You fucking wake up, and that's the first thing you say. How long have you been awake? Oh boy, Cecil grinned as he started up in the couch, and then Winston clutched his bruised head.
I just woke up, actually. The sound of Owen being an idiot brought back to my senses.
Fuck you too, buddy. He rubbed his eyes groggily and took in the unfamiliar room he was in.
The last thing I remember was sinking into the lake in Boss's old truck. Did I miss anything? Hey, what are you?
So Weasley yanked him into a crushing hug, followed by a grinning Owen who left us with his arms outstretched. Even Philip scooted closer to give his little comforting pat on the shoulder. It's good to have you back, sis. How are you feeling? His eyes softened as he gently hugged back.
Kinda shit. My whole head feels like jello. Just woke up and immediately got the life squeezed out of me by the power of friendship. But it beats drowning at the bottom of the lake, so I guess I'll take what I can get.
Little laughed and hugged him more tightly. It's good to have you back. Oh boy. That was a cute scene. Satisfied this was now away, Gon and Philip went downstairs to see if Morris any luck with getting information about our situation. That left just the two of us in the apartment living room. Cecil had insisted that he was okay, but I gave him a thorough pat down to make sure he didn't have any more injuries. Kind of like how you'd fill up a cantaloupe at the supermarket to check for bruises. Jesus Christ. And then I gave him a second pat down. About to give him a third, but he grabbed my wandering hands and muttered with a flushed face that I could give him a more thorough checkup later, which I happily agreed to. As Cecil took some painkillers for his throbbing head, I caught him up with everything that happened while I was asleep. His face was grim as I went over the details of Herschel's heavy guilt, how he tried to distance himself whenever possible.
Sabah's still's in a talkative mood, is he? Not surprising. I wasn't expecting to open up right away.
It was quiet for several months before a determined look filled his face. Eyes turned on the small, dingy apartment.
Which room did he lock himself in?
That one on the right. Cecil immediately got up and marched over to Herschel's door, rapped on the door loudly.
Hey, boss, it's me. You still there?
He was ear against the door, strained hearing any sign of movement on the other side. There was slight rustling, as though someone had approached but was hesitant to open up. Cecil sighed and glared at the door quietly.
It's alright, I understand. Things are kind of a mess right now, and you probably don't want to talk. I'm just asking you to listen. I want you to know that I meant what I said earlier back in the lake. I want you to be part of my life. There's no need to rush things, of course. Take things slowly, but I want you to be here eventually. Not protecting you by hiding yourself away.
Stretching his chin thoughtfully.
How about we sleep things off for the day and gather our thoughts, and we can talk it out over breakfast tomorrow? Sound good?
Phil silent. Cecil and I exchanged nervous looks, both strained or ears for any response. Eventually there was a very soft, "All right," from the other side of the door, and then a quiet, wistful laugh. When did you grow up so fast?
No clue. Guess I had a pretty decent boss who showed me the ropes.
Another laugh behind the door. Talk to you tomorrow, kid.
Yeah.
Just took a step back from Murphy's room before turning to me hesitantly.
Do you think?
Gave him a reassuring pat on the shoulder. That went pretty well, all things considered.
Think so? Never know what to say in these kind of situations. Kind of just thought, what would Alex say, and just winged it from there.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Just staring at me for several thoughtful moments.
Not sure if you've noticed, but you've been almost non-stop supportive lately. During the preliminaries of the date night, and even when those debt collectors showed up. I don't know what's come over you, but it's been nice. Thinking of myself lately, I want to be more like you.
They suddenly felt hot as Sister reached out to rest my hand. Seriously, dude, just help. Honestly, though, I want to see his reaction to finding out that he's been stuck in a loop for who knows how many times at this point. He tried to hide a sheepish smile. Oh boy.
Spent too much time open about how bad things have gotten. About time I start lifting people up instead, right? Like you.
McFlurry squeezed his hand. You're gonna have a lot of trouble maintaining your punk bad blame as you keep being so damn sweet. Cecil grinned.
I'll have you know that it's extremely punk to support your boyfriend.
Oh my fucking god. Jesus Christ, dude. After a bit, Cecil and I wandered downstairs in the Robin's Nest to look around. Found Philip right at home in the empty lounge area with his booted leg propped in one of the chairs. Morris was behind the counter mumbling to his phone in hushed whispers. He made himself a steaming cup of coffee, but apparently didn't occur to him that he'd need to lower his oversized scarf to drink it. Coffee now sat sadly on the far side of the counter, doomed to go cold without receiving a single sip. That is the true tragedy of this game. The undrunk coffee, Jesus. Cecil scratched his head and glanced towards me nervously.
He had insisted on thinking the guy who put a roof over our head were gangsters were possibly trying to murder us. Only polite after all. But now that we were here, it was hard to think of what to say to such a stern-looking man. We approached, Morse looked up and scanned over us with piercing amber eyes. You're awake. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm doing better, just a little bruised in the head. Very quickly under his breath. Sorry for the trouble, sir. You had no reason to help us, but you still did. So I just wanted to say thanks, Mr. Former gang tattoo artist man. Colonel Woman suddenly looked like a tired and overgrown preschool teacher. It's Morse, and I'm not an actual tattoo artist. On the day we met, Jenny called me that day, citing a personal emergency. I dropped everything and rushed over, only to discover that her friend really wanted a tattoo to match his boss's. Philip perked up from his chair with a raised brow. And you said yes? Did not want to deal with crying children. Oh, come on, we were at least teenagers at the time. You are all still children. Children that apparently stuck babysitting. Try to stay out of trouble, won't you? In our defense, we wouldn't have gone through all that trouble if it weren't important. Children don't do important things. I believe the proper course of action would be to inform an adult. With a small chuckle. Well, that's why I called you, didn't I? I tried calling you, but someone suddenly didn't know how to censor their phone. More shot Phil with a withered look. I was busy. A VIP at a watch list reported a stolen motorcycle, and I made sure no bullshitter was around. A stolen motorcycle? Philip blinked. The clown bike? Morse nodded ruefully. A clown bike. I know you kids need a ride, but did you have to steal the world's least inconspicuous motorcycle? I put on top of the damn thing in the parking lot to make sure that Laura Liz didn't immediately notice that you were hiding here. That's on Owen's bad taste. I'm not taking responsibility for that thing. Good move. Mr. Owen curiously. Speaking of which, where is he? Thought I saw him coming downstairs with you earlier. Three of us jumped to a loud rattling sound from the throne of the maintenance closets. Hey, what's the big idea? Let me out. Oh boy. That him. Why did you lock him in the closet? Morse didn't look up and pulled his scarf a little high over his face. He's Lorelei. I have to take precautions. I mean, Owen's kind of annoying sometimes, but he's not a danger to anyone. He's a danger to my patients. Morse cleared his throat loudly and glanced down at his phone notifications. Now we've gotten the small talk out of the way, I suppose you kids want to learn about your situation. I'm assuming, despite your reckless actions, you aren't a bit interested in surviving the night. Blinked. That was a pretty clumsy attempt to change topics. Attempted to prod him about it, but it'd be unwise to piss off the guys trying to keep us alive. Have you heard back from your informant friends? Yeah, what's the situation so far? You'll be happy to hear that the entirety of the Lorelei family is not currently bearing down on you. Most like those two debt collectors fully believe that Kerr killed Herschel McDermott, one of his employees. Thus, they have reported as such their superiors. However, they've neglected to mention that a group of children attempted to interfere with their work tonight. And they seem to be hiding the fact that Owen Lorelei is among you. Seems they want to avoid angering certain members of the Loreleis with a vested interest in Owen's well-being. So, what does this mean for us? It means we don't have to worry about an entire mafia family hunting you. For now. Those two thugs are probably quiet looking for you kids on their own of what's stirring up trouble. Wise choice considering recent events. Recent events? Some members of the Lorelei family are trying to steer themselves towards a cleaner public image. Ever since the fiasco of their illegal seafood, they've been trying to stay any more public messes to save face. It won't be pretty when word gets out that their family debt collectors caused two locals to disappear. Cincinnati exchanged surprised looks. Wait, what's this about for illegal seafoods?
Apparently, one of the Loreleys owned a high-end fancy restaurant that came under scrutiny by the health board. The place was atrociously not up to code and would have to be hit by a dozen lawsuits. But conveniently, just a few days ago, the whole building burned down. Rumor has it Loreley's committed arson to destroy evidence. Well, that's a theory. That's a actually pretty decent theory without the knowledge of what actually happened. But, oh boy. I coughed loudly and extremely innocently. Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Just out of curiosity, there aren't any more rumors about other possible causes of the fire, right?
Not that I know of. Or squinted his hawk-like eyes, piercing through us like spears. Should there be?
Nope, not at all.
Damn Loreley's burning down a whole building to cover their tracks. Who does that kind of thing? Unbelievable. Someone ought to teach you kids a thing or two about subtlety. I want to hear that from someone dressed like a trench-coat flasher. Or show me with a glare and blow his scarf a little higher. It's a disguise. It's not working. Phillips get up as edgy as hell, but at least he's got the sense to cover up his face. Let it then scout the days of his painkillers. Rude. He does a point. What are you trying to hide from? There's many people he's trying to hide from, I would hazard a guess. Morris slid it alongside. He gathered his files and drunken coffee from the counter and stood up to leave. And I've officially used up my reserves of patience for the day. Do not speak to me again. Stay in the building, stay quiet, and stay out of trouble until I sort out this mess. Understood? Now, if you excuse me. Cecil fidgeted nervously as the informant turned to leave.
Wait, Morris, can I talk to you for a second?
Morris paused. Cecil gulped and kept his gaze low.
Yesterday we found an old photo of you back when you were still at Granny Academy. Is it true that you know my mom? It's not too much trouble, I'm gonna ask you a few things about her.
The surprise flickered over Morris's face for a moment. Let me see this photo. Up to my feet and took out Mrs. Corliss's old photograph. Morris plucked it out of my hands and gazed at it in silence for several long moments. His eyes traveled across the faces in the photo, each one smiling back with sheer innocence that was lost to time. Looking up, he was met with the storm of embarrassment and nervousness swimming across Cecil's face. Morris's eyes softened and he handed the photograph back to Cecil with a gentleness he had never shown before. Feels like an eternity since we took that photo together. But yes, I knew Cecilia. What would you like to know? Cecil scratched his head, a bashful flush filling his cheeks.
Yeah, sorry, this might be kind of weird. Just learned that my mom existed a few days ago. I guess just want to learn more about her, you know?
Morris nodded, even through the thick scarf hiding his face. A genuine fond smile shone through his piercing amber eyes. Cecilia was a stubbornly kind woman. On the day we met, I was in a bit of a crisis. Best friend got into a spot of trouble and I needed help getting him out. Amelia was busy with a laundry list of problems herself, but she didn't hesitate to aid a complete stranger like me. Thinking back, I owed quite a bit to her. I was peering into Cecil's face intently as though trying to catch a glimpse of the woman he once knew. A soft chuckle. She was a ruthless chess player. She hated onions and she had a bad habit of leaving leftover crumbs from her culinary classes out of the campus crows. A mob of them decided she was a friend and started dropping random shiny things they found at her window. He felt quiet. Cecilia was always afraid that she was unfixable. Too fucked up by her parents to even be a good friend or a good person. Or a good sister. I suppose that's why she was so eager to help the people around her. Always the first offer help and always the last to ask for it.
I think she wanted to prove that she could be someone worthwhile despite her upbringing. Or stared at the ceiling for several long moments. Cecilia was a good friend, a good person. She was worth more than just the things she did. Wish I told her that more often when we were younger. Cecil stared down the young woman, smiling back at him in the photograph. She sounds like an interesting lady. My boss, my uncle, Herschel. You guys probably knew each other too, right? His look flashed across Morse's eyes as he picked up the rest of his things. I was his babysitter. Wait, you're joking. Really? Whenever Cecilia was busy with classes or work, she'd drop a little brother off with a partner and I. He was a perfectly mediocre child. I don't recall him speaking with that stupid accent as a kid, though. Morse froze, and then a look of what could only be described as pain-inducing cringe flickered across his face. What is it? None. Absolutely none. I better get going. There are still several contacts I need to speak with. He had to leave the pod and sniff the air around Cecil. You need a shower. You still reek like the bottom of a lake out, you little dip. Our bathroom should be fully stocked with toiletries. There's also a laundry room down the hall. Do try to keep yourself presentable while you're here. And with that, he stomped out of the room and left us alone in the lounge. As soon as Morse had an earshot, Cecil lifted his arm and sniffed himself self-consciously. I don't smell that bad, do I? Go shower, Stinky. His cheeks reddened and he quickly lowered his arm. You guys could have said something. Clean up before coming down here. He lifted his tired head from the counter and wrinkled his nose. Alex doesn't smell much better. Brad will be lying on top of you during the car ride here and sucked up all that lake water goodness. Both of you have some serious scrubbing. He just looked at my shirt to my nose and sniffed. I guess we'll shower together. If possible, since his cheeks were even redder. Are you offered? Is that a normal thing for people pretending to do? Bill groaned and rubbed his temples. Oh my god, get a room. I just jumped to the maintenance closet door, rattled loudly again. Wait, I also stink. Please let me out. I can use a shower too. Oh, I forgot about him. One sec. Wretched as he bunny hopped toward the closet, his boot leg held carefully off the ground. Owen toppled out of the closet with a gasp. Oh, thank God. I thought I was going to be stuck in there for the whole night. Morse seemed to have it out for me. He shoved me in there the moment I came downstairs. What did you even do to him? He's just kind of like that with new people. Squinted Owen for several moments. And he's got a bad history with the Loreleys himself. Makes sense that he's a little cautious. Oh. Owen's face fell and he scratched his head. My, family does have a habit of screwing everything up. I said this with a hint of shame. Alex told you your whole situation yesterday morning, and I knew immediately my family were the ones behind it. And apparently they're the ones who killed your mom. I'm sorry, man. No, I didn't really think of it like that. Don't beat yourself up over it. Bad at math, but I'm pretty sure you were a toddler when it happened. Not responsible for any of that shit. You say that, but... punched the shoulder. Don't you fall into a moping session on me. I thought I was the broody one. Not gonna lie, it does feel kind of weird knowing your folks kind of started this whole mess. Known you for years. You're a good guy, sometimes, and... He saw everybody and all of us, and a small smile broke across his face. Thanks for saving my uncle tonight. All of you. Never thought I had friends who'd steal a motorbike to smuggle my loved ones to safety or get into a gunfight to make sure the rest of us were safe. All batshit insane. I'm lucky to have you guys in my life. So, thanks. Boy.
Owen blinked in surprise. His face flushed a bit as he stared at his meat sheepishly.
It's the least I could do. My family is actively hunting for our asses right now. You should save your thinking until we figure our way out of this mess. I guess in the meantime, we can complain about being under sort of house arrest just like Jenny.
Sizzle snorted.
As if that ever stopped Teach from leaving whenever she wanted. Probably shouldn't follow her example, though. Feel like if those things didn't get to us, Morse would kill us himself with his bare hands.
I looked amused.
Are you guys actually scared of him? I know he's got a bad case of resting bitch face, but he's actually pretty sweet once you get to know him.
I'll have to take your word for it. The guy looks like he's down for murder at a moment's notice.
He seems nice enough. Just reluctantly dealing with it when outside of a patient, I guess. How do you know him so well?
Oh, Morris helps me with my black cat operations and patches me up whenever I get hurt. Not that it happens often, but it still happens. I come off a little stern, but it's mostly because he worries a lot. What?
Sighs nearly bulged out of his head in disbelief.
Wait, you're the Black Cat.
Oh, I forgot. You're the only one here who doesn't know.
You guys knew already? Since when? Why didn't anyone tell me?
Well, I found out after Philip took a bullet for me a few days ago.
He seems to take those pretty often.
Sizzle grabbed Philip's hand and shook it furiously as if seeing an entirely new light.
I've always been a big fan. I can't believe you've been right under my nose this whole time.
Thanks. Feels kind of weird to have it out in the open.
Do you do autographs? I have this little newspaper clipping at that time you took out my old orphanage somewhere.
I think the whole point of a secret identity is, keep it a secret.
I know, but you don't think you could make an exception?
Now.
Sizzle deflated, his ears drooping. Come on, Philip, you can at least give him your biggest fan a hug, can't you? Philip sniffed.
No, you all still stink. Hurry up and get showered.
Fiddled with them with the shirt subconsciously.
I don't exactly have a change of clothes.
There's a laundry room down the hall from the apartment we're all only up in. Just toss whatever you have in there while you wash up.
Aaron opened his mouth with a teasing grin on his face. Before he could utter a word, Phil immediately shot him a deadpan look.
I will stay down here and help Morse with his contacts and paperwork. You guys do whatever it is you're gonna do. Come upstairs after you're all done, and I expect the room to be perfectly spotless and untarnished.
You sure you don't want to come?
Philip was already getting up and bunny hopping across the room with his one good leg.
Completely spotless, got it?
And with that, he disappeared into the little office that Morse had retreated into earlier. This one I shot at with sympathetic looks. Doing okay, man? Owen shotgun scratched his head awkwardly.
Oh, I'm fine, no worries.
How are you and Philip doing? I know you two seem to be getting along better lately, but not always.
Do you need us to help you out with some wingman duties? Seems only fair with how much you guys helped me, after all. Philip and me. I mean, we've gotten a lot closer, way better than a couple weeks ago, thankfully. Thankful to have him as a friend. He's helped me through something I will hopefully process. But, I don't think we're ever gonna get closer than friends. We're very good friends, but also very different people with, different needs.
There's between the two of us and sighed wistfully.
Not all of us are a match made in heaven. I think we were a match made in arson fire, actually.
Sure, man. At least you got a good friend out of it.
Then you don't worry about little me. Honestly, Hope gets a kick out of our little song and dance these days.
It was throat loudly.
Anyway, enough dwelling on my tragic love life. Let's hurry up and get cleaned up.
Oh boy. Let's just to the ship before shooting us a wink.
I guess we all gotta shower together to save water. It's only polite after all.
Swirled his eyes and slammed his arm on my shoulder.
Sorry, man. Alex is my boyfriend. Your own shower buddy.
Jesus Christ, are you fucking joking? At least there's a choice. At least there's a choice. That much I appreciate. Thank you, Shiro. I'd rather shower alone.
It's been a long day. I'd rather shower alone. So shrugged.
Fair enough. We all need some time to rest up and get our thoughts in order. Do we really, though? Don't you know showering is a communal activity? To you, maybe. The rest of us are normal.
Well, I can't say I don't like the idea of it. My eyebrows with a grin. Probably looked away with his face flushed. I'm just too tired to do anything after last night. As the yawns came, my throat was over the exhaustion on my eyes. Sure, Phil'll be thrilled that he doesn't need to be afraid of touching anything when he comes upstairs. There's a fond look on his face as he, with one arm still slung over my shoulder, only got me upstairs.
Look like shit. Come on, let's get you cleaned up and then you can get some real sleep.
Tried to reply with something teasing. Maybe poke fun of him with another cute pet name, but was betrayed by another yawn. Going on, thanks, I was carried upstairs. Oh boy. The day passed quickly and denied, and everyone settled down in a little apartment above the robin's nest. Exhaustion hung over everyone after the day's events, and we all sank into our beds without much energy for ending our sleep. Sissel and I held together under the sheets in a snoring tangle of limbs. On the other side of the room, Owen and Philip were snoozing quietly in a bed of their own, but with a bit more space between them. And where we all slept, with only the rhythmic sound of breathing and Owen's thunderous snoring. How did I know he would be a snorer? He just fucking radiates that vibe. It was well into the night when I woke up to Sissel tossing and turning in his sleep, accompanied with frustrated grumbles. I blinked the A's in my eyes and snuggled closer to him, burying my face against his neck. Sis, you having a bad dream or something? Sissel was silent for a moment. He rolled onto his back and stared quietly into the ceiling.
Sorry, did I wake you?
Nah, don't worry about it. I'm a little light sleeper anyway. I am too, Jesus. Oh boy. 7:37, that's a funny time. Want to talk about it?
Kinda. It's gonna sound weird, but I guess not as weird as everything's happened today.
But at a sigh, his arm wrapped around my shoulders and pulled me closer in a warm embrace.
Been having this weird recurring dream for the past few days. Started on the day before the culinary tournament, but back then it was hazy, and I couldn't make heads or tails of it. As time went on, the dreams got more and more lucid. Today, when I got knocked out in the lake, it kind of all came flooding back to me.
What kind of dreams were you having? Nightmares? Shook his head firmly.
No, they were just kind of sad. Dreamed that I lost the culinary tournament, some sabotage nonsense happened, I got disqualified.
Oh, so it is, there is some bleed over. Okay, I was wondering. Also, the remnant's been gone for a long fucking time now. I'm kind of worried about that. Stomach seized with a wave of dread. Stiffened and stared up at Sizzle apprehensively, but he didn't seem to notice. Whatever pieces the previous timeline seeping through, what did this mean? Sizzle continued on, oblivious to the dread seeping through my chest.
Needless to say, that fucking sucked and I fell into a bad place. In the dream, I ran off and hauled up my moping shack, as TH likes to call it. Seemed like I was determined just to be miserable, but, Sizzle shifted and turned to face me, his cheeks only a little pink. But then you guys showed up. You and Teach, Philip and Owen, you guys showed up to drag me out of a little stupor. We camped out in Bradley Woods that night because you all refused to leave me alone in my misery. Even as being a real ass about it. And all that just to make sure I was okay.
Sizzle seemed like insulted with a sheepish smile.
No, it was all a dream, but it felt so real. And I'm grateful. Because I had to deal with my moping sessions too much. I wanted to do better. I want to be better for you.
I pulled more from my chest so he couldn't help but a shaky laugh. You're already a great guy, Sissel. Don't need to do any of that.
Of course I don't need to. Like how you guys don't need to support me at every turn. But I want to.
Silent strip at the ceiling.
Oh, I got a bad habit of throwing a fit whenever people try to help me. Probably because I've always felt a little worthless because of the way I grew up. Honestly, these past few days I heard I realized how lucky I am to have some of the best friends like I could ever ask for. Like how much I got my back during the culinary tournament, and how Owen and Philip were willing to go through that batshit insane situation for my sake. I want you all to know that I love you in a weird, hard to articulate way.
Slow chuckle.
And one day I want to be just supportive to you. Not because I owe you or anything, but because I want to. Kindness isn't a debt to be repaid. It's a gift.
Sorry, this is really sweet, man. Warm breath brushed against my cheek.
What have you in my life, Alex?
Full of emotions fluttered through my entire body. I could only hug back and nod. If I'm not to say anything, everything would come flaring out. I didn't want to start sobbing like a baby tonight. And so I just hugged him back and nodded. He didn't understand. We held each other for several moments before we worked gentle circles on my back while I tried very hard not to cry. Thankfully, or unfortunately, depending on how you looked at it, we were interrupted by a quiet "ah" from the side of the room. Oh my god, he's... No.
Oh, you guys are so dang sweet, I'm starting to tear in my eye.
We looked around to see Owen and Philip sitting upright in their bed, watching us intently like a semi-amusing movie.
How long have you guys been awake?
Long enough.
I had no idea you were such a loving little sap. Your reputation as a punk bad boys and tatters.
Chubby Key laughing slipped across the room to smother him with a pillow. I'm sighed and barrel rolled away with his boot leg to what can caught in the crossfire. I was thankful for the momentary distraction as I tried to wipe away the tears that were starting to stain the sheets. And cleared his throat loudly. At the risk of sounding like a sappy romantic like Cecil here, I don't have many friends. Mr. Boca said, boot up from Cecil's smothering grip with a grin.
Really, we have such warm and loving personality.
Bill promptly shoved Owen's face back into its pillowy grave. My point is, I'm glad that I've got you guys. So if you need me to do battle with your little debt collectors or need a hand with dealing with your moping sessions, I'll be there. A muffled grunt of agreement with a small mountain of bedding. It's all a bit too much for Cecil, who finally released his pillowy death grip, his ears drooping with embarrassment.
You guys call me the sap.
It's contagious. We're all gonna poetry spouting romantics by the end of this.
Talking about our feelings.
Describing our sappy dreams at 3 a.m. Oh my god. Cecil spluttered his face as he pelted us with as many pills as he got his hands on.
You're all the worst. I taped everything I said earlier.
How? Hey, put that down. Oh boy. Oh, no. This was supposed to be savage. When I bore the brunt of the assault, Cecil tossed us around and trapped us in a tangled blanket burrito. Tried very hard to hold our inner laughter as he pelted us over there with various soft cushions as punishment. Phil managed to avoid the bloodshot by waving his booted leg around like a bludgeoning weapon. Sappy nonsense aside, how are you feeling, Cecil? I mean, we just spent a whole day rescuing your newly discovered uncle and fleeing from gun-wielding debt collectors who killed your mom. Probably have some means on all that. Bought his pillow lines with a thoughtful look.
I'm surprisingly okay. With all you guys on my side, I feel weirdly safe. Honestly, I'm more of a boss than anything else. Your uncle? Yeah, we've only had one conversation since all this happened. That was a door between us. Been holed up in his room since. Probably just needs some time on his own to sort himself out. But
so I flopped back into our bed, leaning his head on my shoulder.
Herschel's kinda like me if he never had idiots like you guys to keep me afloat. Gross feeling people care for you and you can't do anything to repay them. I know it well.
Do you have plans to reach out to him? Shot me a sly grin.
I think I'll follow your example and smother him with kindness. Like in that weird dream where you drowned me out of my moping shack to camp out in Bradley Woods. And to make sure he knows that I'll be there for him, no matter how mopey he gets. get through to him, just like how you guys got through to me.
So you're going to infect him with your sappiness. Alex was right, that shit really is contagious. Oh boy. And thus, with one pillar projectile, we promptly learned that the old saying, cats always land on their feet, was a sack of lies. Like Owen, however, Philip had a tendency to fight back. Night soon descended into a savage pillow fight that ended with Morris banging at our door telling us to keep the noise down. Oh boy. As we settled back down to enjoy what few sleeping hours we had, a strange sense of melancholy washed over me. That dream that Cecil mentioned where we camped out at Bradley Woods felt like an eternity ago. It was an easier time where everyone was just hanging out without a worry in the world. Everyone. Sat up from the bed and reached for my phone, scrolled through my contacts until I found Jenny's number. A quick taps, I sent her a few texts telling her about the day's events and how she was doing well. Hope to see you soon. I entered a long message and clicked send. No answer. The melancholic weight hung heavier over me. She was probably fine. It was like 4 a.m. right now. It's normal for her to not answer immediately. The sigh, sitting back in the bed at Cecil's side. As exhaustion slowly lulled me to sleep, I kept wondering if Jenny was alright. Haven't heard from her in a while. All of us hanging out like this, things just didn't feel the same without her. Oh, fuck's sake. God damn it. In a small hospital across town, Jenny laid in an exhausted slump, her face stony and cold. Haley stood at her bedside, her head hung in a defeated slump. Time was running out. Fuck's sake. I was a fool. I never should use my strength to help that damn brat and his friends. A lifeline would have lasted longer. Jenny didn't reply. Her eyes were glazed over, her mind a fog of painkillers and exhaustion. Even so, she let out a small laugh. What would be the point? Haley glared. I'm tired of fighting this fight. How many times do I have to see you like this? When will this repeating nightmare end? She smiled and turned to look at her crestfallen wish. It would have ended a long time ago if you would just let me go. But Haley snapped up and glared at her wordlessly. Jenny only sighed and sank deeper into her pillow, wincing at the tiniest movement. Bones ached and her lungs strained with each breath she took. Look at the bright side. I get to sleep in a comfy bed this time around. I don't remember clearly, but I think last time was buried under a burning building. This is way preferable, if a bit boring. Haley's scowl deepened. Jenny could only laugh. You need to start taking this serious. You need to start taking this seriously. How many years have we been doing this song and dance? I tried to have a bit of fun with it. I would have. You need to stop doing. That was her. If I tried to have a bit of fun with it, I would have gone crazy already. This is fun. This is fun to you. She shrugged. I got a little bit more time with some of my friends. For me, that's enough. There was a faint shimmer in the corner of her eyes. What the hell? A fleck of pale light floated through the open window and hovered in the room like a stray speck of dust. Haley stood up and glared. Well, if it isn't this stray little star, you look awful. Voice chuckled in a quiet, disembodied hum. And you've still got the personality of a wet sponge. She was really winning here. Hello, you must be Alex's wish. What are you doing here? For a speck shimmered brighter to glow, flooding the room with light. Echo appeared over the sickly girl in the hospital bed. She looked so small and frail, a stark contrast to her usual boisterous self. It was a rather heart-wrenching sight. Generva Corliss, I'm out of time. Jenny coughed out a laugh. What a coincidence, it looks like we're in the same boat. And we both have things we must do before we go. Same boat indeed. She frowned, perplexed. Things to do? What do you mean by that? Alex and his friends are pushing forward, weaving a new future for themselves. I don't think they'll quite reach it without you. I appreciate the compliment, but I don't think they'll need sickly old me with them. Seem to be doing fine so far. You're their friend, they need you. They glared coldly. She has given more than enough already. She has nothing left to give. You and your friends have returned her efforts with nothing but a quickened end. She weakly reached out and grasped the end of Hallie's sleeve. The ashen wish halted with an incredulous look. It's fine, Haley. I have it no other way. She grit her teeth and sat back down, arms crossed. He watched them quietly, his gaze drifting from Haley and then back toward Ginny. What was it you wished for all those years ago? I wanted just a little more time. Fuck. Fuck. Echo smiled gently. Then you will have it. I have very little time left myself. Like, here's what little I have to extend yours. Maybe a few days, weeks, or even months. Not sure at this point, but I know that I can lengthen the thread of your life just a little longer. He struggled to lift her head with a frown. Wait, what happened to you? I smiled wryly. With some luck, maybe that thing and I will finally disappear for good. Turned towards Haley, who was watching him quietly, her face torn between disdain and gratitude. Protecting Ginny is my job. I know. The past few weeks have taught me that there is beauty in accepting help from others despite feeling unworthy of it. Haley said nothing, her brow furrowed in a bitter frown. His face softened as he smiled. I envy you, I really do. To be born is a kind and pleasant wish. I'm nothing of the sort. You were. Maybe you strayed a little, but everyone does sometimes. I know this repeating nightmare has worn you down, but maybe someday you'll find that kindness again. He sighed, his gaze torn between the two of them. If I may ask for something selfish, could you two look after him when I'm gone? He's been getting better lately, but he's always been a bit hopeless when left on his own. Ginny nodded firmly. Of course. Make sure everything turns out alright this time. And thank you. Echo smiled. Don't look so sad about it. It's that thing you always say. We'll see you again soon. Holy fucking shit. No, I don't want to. Oh my god, how is it not over? How long is this update? Oh, it's on 1 hour and 9 minutes. Okay, it like felt way longer than that. Oh my gosh. It's just potatoes. What does that even mean? It was my greatest misfortune that Sissel woke me up at the crack of dawn the next morning. Oh, boo-hoo. Woe is me. Woe is you. Having to wake up early. most circumstances, I would have just shoved him out of the bed and given him a beauty sleep, but I had boyfriend responsibilities, and oh boy. One of which included being supportive, even if said boyfriend wanted to cook a big breakfast and an ungodly hour for his estranged uncle. Thankfully, I wasn't alone. Bill, the known assistant, helping too, right after we forced him to wear something decent or anything at all. Step 1, cook breakfast. Oh boy. This kitchen looks fucking tiny, jeez. Thankfully, Cecil everything control on that front. Delicious smells filled the small apartment. Cecil rifled with the modest fridge for ingredients. Shortly after the baking began sizzling and no one offered his help, the kitchen began filling with smoke and Cecil shooed us all out of the room. It was a little too late though. Fire alarm already went off. Cecil busied himself to turn off the wailing siren. We commenced with step 2, get Herschel to come to breakfast. Philip was sent downstairs to apologize for orders of the entire room before midnight alert at the crack of dawn. Meanwhile, I collectively decided that we would force ourselves into Herschel's bedroom and manhandle the kitchen table, since he probably would have refused otherwise. I rapped loudly on Herschel's door, but there was no response despite the shrill scream of the fire alarm. Hey Herschel, wake up, Sizzle made breakfast. No answer. Knocked again, harder this time. You decent in there? We're gonna break down your door if you keep ignoring us. Well, then Herschel opened the door and poked out his head. Listen, kids, I know you mean well, but... Hey, what's the big idea? Well, I merely seized him and dragged the man, kicking and screaming towards the kitchen. Well, Lowen did most of the work. He's mostly there for moral support. Oh my god. Time we got to the kitchen, the fire alarms were off, and Cecil set up a massive breakfast for everyone. Beamed as he stood over the mouth-watering plates of pan-fried up potatoes, omelets, and waffles laid neatly across the table.
Boss, guys, you can make it.
Oh boy. Herschel stood stiffly by the door, staring over the scene with a guilt-stricken look. I don't think...
Don't tell me you're planning on slinking back to your room. You're not gonna let all this food go to waste, are ya?
Pawed in the road and sank down into a chair. You know, you didn't need to do this.
Of course. Just like how you didn't need to cook us a big dinner after Alex and I burned down that fancy restaurant our first date. Or you didn't need to take in a random kid off the street and raise him to be a decent guy. Or anything, really. Doing this because I want to. Fuck you. Now shut up and eat.
Oh, boy. Herschel's brow furrowed, but after a pause, he reluctantly began picking at his omelet. And Cecil felt benign, exchanged triumphant looks. Step 2 was a success. We all settled down at the table and descended upon our own food like ravenous animals. Cecil's cooking was still as good as ever. Breakfast went as swimmingly as you could hope, with everyone shattering away through mouthful of potatoes and bacon. Herschel, on the other hand, ate quietly with his head hung low, determined to avoid eye contact. Around the time that the omelets were vanquished, he finally peeked his head up to see Cecil grinning widely. What's that look for?
Sucks to be on the receiving end, doesn't it?
The receiving end of what?
Being taken care of. You used to complain about all the time, and you were always like, "Oh, I think nothing of it."
Herschel put his potatoes with a sigh. These does kinda suck, yeah.
Well, I'm having a great time.
You almost drowned yesterday.
It happens.
You can't just brush that kind of thing off like it's nothing.
Almost burned down your cafe that one time. You were pretty chill about it. Learn from your example.
That's not... Herschel huffed and glared down at his half-eaten potatoes. Stared for several long moments.
Stop that.
Stop what?
That thing you're doing right now. I know you're doing it because I used to do it all the time.
Just squinted. What are you talking about?
You're not letting yourself be happy. Maybe because you don't think you deserve it. It's something you gotta work for and earn, or I'm not good enough for this.
I grabbed a pan from the stove and piled more hash browns in Herschel's plate with the ferocity of a very hospitable grandmother. Hey, I don't need this much. He grinned.
Here. I support love and potatoes freely given. No strings attached. You don't need to work for these or worry about repaying me later. Just sit down and enjoy them, yeah? Maybe at the gym later. This is a lot of carbs.
It's not that easy.
I know. You gotta at least take a bite. It'll grow cold. I know, and now you're gonna eat the rest of them.
Hey, they're good.
Really good breakfast for us anymore. I gotta savor this while I can.
Besides, then Philip was silently wiping the maple syrup off his pancakes with a frown.
Sugar is bad for you, of course. Herschel hesitated and sighed before finally taking a bite.
He ate slowly for a bit before putting his fork down. Couldn't quite meet Sissel's eyes.
Good, right? I know you haven't eaten at all yesterday.
Yeah, he's good.
But
He sighed again. Listen, Sissel, I know you're trying to be supportive and all that, but it's not that simple. You can't just pretend I didn't play a part in ruining your life and what led to your mother's death. You can't pretend I didn't do horrible things to you. A bunch of potatoes aren't gonna change that. So sipped his coffee with thoughtful look.
yeah, you're right. Growing up with a family was tough, and thinking my parents were like garbage fucked with my brain for a while. Still does, but I'm getting better at it. When I found out you're part of the reason why I ended up like this, I have to be honest, I was pissed.
So pause.
But here's the thing. I've had some time to think it over, and I've decided.
Said Ursula's small smile.
I forgive you.
You can't just say that. It's not that simple. She shrugged.
I know, but I've been thinking about it a lot. Didn't mean any harm what you did all those years ago. Yeah, you stole the money. You said you wanted to use it along with her debts, but part of you wanted a chance to escape your sister's shadow. It's a little selfish, and yeah, I kind of snowballed into a fucking mess. That's not all of you. We're the man who helped me escape from the streets, gave me a home and a direction to go in life. God, this is really... Why does it feel like it's... I swear, it feels like this is dragging on way longer than it has been. I don't even know why. Wouldn't love the culinary arts as much as I do now if it weren't for you. Sure as hell wouldn't be competing in the Nationals without you. People who killed my mother were those debt collectors, not you.
A smile across his face widened as he looked closer to Herschel in the eyes.
Sure was really upset when I learned the truth about you, Herschel, but I didn't want this to be a relationship. Oh boy. I'm going my life. I'll help you get out of this mess with those debt collectors. I swear, I fucking... And in a few weeks, I want you to be there when I compete in the Nationals. It's one of the biggest moments of my life so far. It's only fair that you get to be there. Afterwards, who knows, but I know I'll be happier if you were with me.
He leaned back in his chair and took a deep breath.
So, I forgive you. Please forgive yourself too. So be happy.
He said low, fighting back a wave of tears. His hands were white knuckled and trembling against the kitchen table.
I don't know if I can do that.
Smiling gently.
I know, I just piled a lot on you all at once. Don't need to answer right away. For now, let's just enjoy this breakfast together. This will be the first step of many. Now eat up.
Joseph ate and stared down at his plate for a while, and Sissel laughed.
Just potatoes, man.
So he picked up his fork and finally began eating the rest of his hash browns. Beneath all the tears and guilt, there was the barest hint of a smile. Yeah, just potatoes. Man. Rest of breakfast passed without too much excitement.
There is so much that just went down, and that's just the next sentence, of course. Wow.
Herschel quietly dismissed himself and went downstairs to talk to Morris with Philip, but I wasn't following in tow. Only Sissel and I do battle with the small mountain of dirty dishes left in their wake. The dishwasher was broken. Fantastic. I sighed while another stack was placed to the sink where Sissel was humming a little ditty as he busily scrubbed away. You'd figure those two would actually stay behind to help us clean up.
I don't mind a bit of dishwashing duty, it's kind of relaxing. Just makes sure to clear out my thoughts too. I think our little breakfast support's actually doing well.
Like money and potato wedge portion of dirty dish popped in my mouth, which, yeah, that is disgusting. That is fucking disgusting. I think it went as well as we could have hoped, and your horse definitely reached Urshel. Really grown up a lot lately, haven't you? So shrugged, smiling to himself.
Just doing what you and Teach probably would have done. You know, to shotgun them with love and support approach you two seem to love so much. To be all mopey like that too, wasn't I? And Teach had to deal with me for so long. Yeesh.
With the tower dirty dishes running and tossing ruthlessly with a sharp splash.
Thanks for sticking with me, Alex. I mean it. I don't know, after getting together with you, everything feels a little lighter.
Just doing my job as your emotional support boyfriend. So laughed and up at me playfully. Oh boy. There's the... It feels like I've been playing this game for years, because I have. But like, I mean, jeez. It's really, really weird to see these characters in a somewhat happy situation, and it's really surreal because it's hardly ever whatever.
Guess a lot.
Oh my god! I just realized what that was talk. He scowled.
Apparently not enough. I'm gonna get all spluttering right place like I do one of these days. Anyway, you don't have to stick with me for dishwasher duty if you don't want to. Especially if you're gonna be in dirty food off the plates.
He yelped as he smacked my prying fingers away from some of the upper bits of slightly soapy bacon. Fucking disgusting. Holy shit.
Know what? Could you do me a favor? Why don't you go downstairs and check on Boss for me? Probably has trouble talking to me, but I'll be more open with you.
Aye, aye, Captain. Oh boy. Saluted and made my way downstairs before stealing another stray potato wedge from the tower of dishes. This little shouted something about food safety and tossed a damp sponge on my head as I ran out of the kitchen, laughing. Oh boy. Made to the lounge just in time to catch Herschel and Morris in the bouts of a rather intense stare-off. Boy. That is the worst disguise I've ever seen.
And that's the dumbest accent I ever heard. You didn't speak like that when you were younger. What happened?
Oh, it just kinda happens. Don't worry about it. Morris buried his face into his hands, his palms clasped together in a weary prayer.
Please, please tell me you didn't take Samuel's dating advice seriously. Oh my god.
Samuel, fucking the butler dude, God. I completely forgotten about him until just now. It's just like a fucking brain, like a fucking key just clicked in my head, like, oh, right, Samuel, the dude that used to have a pointless sex scene for no reason. Made no narrative sense whatsoever. God. It's gone now. He got rid of that because Owen's old route used to be way different than it is now. I haven't even played that route yet. I haven't played the new route yet, I don't think. Well, in a while.
Ladies dig a hot accent and all that rot. I refuse to be partially responsible for your failings as a man.
Excuse you, I sound good.
I can't help but notice you are still single well into your 30s.
Fuck you, Morris. Jesus.
That advice worked out swimmingly.
That's not the point. Don't change the subject. Does this mean we acknowledge the fact that I knew you back in the day, or... Morris rubbed his temples tiredly.
Doesn't matter too much at this point. I told the kids I used to be your babysitter. Try not to give out any identifying details. I've still got people trying to kill me as well. Only sticking my neck out for you because I wanted Jenny's strays. Beg me for help.
Paused and sighed.
Maybe because I owe Cecilia a favor too. Stopped contacting her after I fell into this little gang informed business. That was a few years before she died. If I'd stayed in touch,
my resource, I might have been able to. I shook his head firmly. No, don't think like that. There's a million things we could have done differently, but there's nothing we can change now. Just gotta do what we can moving forward, yeah. Optimistic words coming from the guy who's soaked in his room for the last 24 hours. I guess I just had a really good breakfast. Small smile spread across his face. This whole shitstorm aside, it's nice to see you again. It's been an age since we talked. How are you and Samuel doing? Are you two Right, I fucking God, I remember that now. Jesus Christ, so much is being remembered. Morse cut him off sharply. I died in prison, that's the official story. That's all that will be said about it. His eyes suddenly narrowed as he noticed me lurking around the corner. Awkwardly stumbled into the lounge with a wary grin. Hey, I promise I wasn't eavesdropping. I just wanted to come down and see how Hirsch was doing. Sis will send you the check on me. Of course he did. She sighed and leaned back in his chair. I'm fine. He doesn't need to fuss over me like this. Kids shouldn't have to deal with this kind of thing. Leave this to the adults. I like to gently remind you that we are adults. That's all well and good, but dealing with murderous debt collectors. Hiding in a criminal informant's home. Making breakfast cheer me up when I should be the one supporting him. It's just, ugh. That's why we should work together and fix everything as soon as we can. Trust me, I want this to be over as much as you do. Last night I just wasn't in the best headspace and chose the worst option. You wanted to pay the consequences. He sighed and turned towards Morse. So good, Morse, was it? What's the situation like with the mob family? Are they still hunting my ass? He perked up. Wait, before we get into it, I think the others should hear this too. Where are Owen and Philip? I thought they came downstairs with you. Oh, I locked them in the closet. Again? He shrugged. I got tired of their squabbling. Babysitting isn't my job anymore. Of course, I unlocked the closet door and flung it open, its occupants spilling out with indignant cries. Anyway, back to your current situation. I've been asking around and things have been quiet so far. 234 they collect the payment from you and confirm your death. Without a body, sloppy work. Cause of death, you became hostile during their dealings and they were forced to put you down. Stroked his bruised cheek bitterly. That's a bit of a stretch. Oleander, Lorelei, and his peace-loving half of the family aren't too happy about the situation, but we're willing to brush it off since the folk claim you were the aggressor. Oh, that's bullshit. I sighed. Agreed. Main issue now is what can you do about it? Show your faces publicly, authorities will target you to finish the job. Well, the full blessings the rest of the Lorelei family, I might add. Stay quiet for too long, those thugs will claim whatever assets you have left, which isn't much, but your cafe will be gone for good. But what if we fight back? There's two guys, we could probably take them out by surprise somehow. Or shook his head. Those two debt collectors still have the full blessings of the Lorelei family. You go on the aggressive, they will have the entire family's resources at their disposal. Whether you fight back directly or call the cops, you have no hope against their power and influence. You'll make sure you're dead for real this time round. A frown of frustration boiling in my chest. Is there really nothing we can do? Phil and Owen approached our table with thoughtful looks. Sounds like not everyone in the family is on board with the thugs' murderous methods. Especially my dad and his supporters. Can we use that in some way? It's true that Lorelei's half the family has been trying to steer the Loreleis toward a more respectable direction over the past few years. They're not without opposition. The other half of the family wants nothing more than to return their lethal roots. Safe to assume your debt collectors at the latter half support. Morse scratched his chin thoughtfully. Oh, I suppose. If these debt collectors publicly humiliate themselves in some big blunder, both halves of the family would no longer want to associate with them.
they would be left on their own, much easier to deal with. But we currently don't have the resources to force their hand to making rush actions. For now, we just have to sit and wait for an opportunity. We mustn't be too hasty in this kind of situation.
Oh boy. I sighed and flopped down into a chair with a frustrated grumble. I hate all this waiting around and doing nothing. There's gotta be something we could do. I suddenly buzzed. I dug out my pocket and my eyes lit up. It's Ginny! Yo, Ghostbuster. Sorry I haven't been answering your calls. My doctor's kidnapped me. I'll be under house arrest again these past few days. Did I miss anything important? Relief bubbled in my chest. I pressed the phone to my ear. Not good to hear her voice after so long, and she sounded like her usual jaunty self. Guess I worry for nothing. Oh, you have no idea. The last few days have been a mess. Oh boy. That's an understatement. After a brief exchange, I caught Jenny up with all the current happenings. She was not pleased. Again? Keeps us away from that damn lake or any body of water from now on. We used to have a pool floaty on him permanently. Can't have him near drown every time we look away. On the bright side, everyone is still together and kicking this time around. Smiled quietly over my voice. And, you're still here? We've still got you with us, Ginny. There was a brief pause and she snorted. Wow, I didn't think you were the happy type, Alex. This has been rubbing off on you, huh? Well, excuse me for being thoughtful and worried about you. Fine, dude. Go on, mother hand on me. I get that enough from Graham. Stairway doors suddenly swung open. I glanced up and waved to Sissel into the lounge. Sissel, Ginny's calling.
Oh, Tasha's there. How's she doing?
Smiled and put her on speakerphone. Sissel, we're just talking about giving you mandatory swimming lessons after all this whole mess is over.
Absolutely not. I'm not getting wet unless I have to.
And how's that worked out for you so far?
I doubt driving into a lake is going to be a common occurrence moving forward. Come on, Alex, let me up on this.
I don't know, I kind of like seeing you get wet. Your shirt... Oh my god. Some, drop the phone.
Anyway, how's Garania been doing without us?
Not good. Gran is having a minor aneurysm right now because she's got 4 missing students, and she hasn't heard from him in like 2 days. How long are you guys going to hold up with Morris? School's gonna report you missing the police at this point.
Could you tell Mrs. Curley's that we're sorry? It's not like we can just show up to class again. There are people trying to kill us.
Okay, but if we don't show up, the school and police are probably gonna make a scene. Provoke the family in some way? Stretch his chin thoughtfully. Laura, he'll probably need to do some PR, spin it to get up to the crime, maybe pay off a few cops and reporters. But other than that, I don't think this will affect them much. Which was eyes suddenly lit up. Wait, I think I might have something. Didn't you mention that Owen fell as the mob boss's son, and this old man is a soft spot for him? If you're trying to use Owen as leverage, that won't work. A good chunk of the family wants Owen dead, too. Only reason he's not 6 feet under is because of his father's protection, and that protection is relying on him not get involved in family affairs. The moment Owen steps forward, the thugs will just inform them that Owen tried to interfere with their dealings, which gives them full rights to deal with him however they please. His eyes gleamed. Yeah, that's only if the family believes him. It'll be their word against ours. Oh, and Al will get the word out. Hello, this is the dead that are supposed to be dead. Here's our side of the story.
Which, wouldn't help us anyway. I really did try to haggle your freedom with those thugs.
Oh, don't you worry about that. I think I've got a solid idea. There's a way we can put those 2 thugs in hot water where neither side, the mob family, would touch them with a 10-foot pole. Afterwards, they'll just be 2 guys with guns. Still scary, but they're much easier to deal with. She paused, trying his thoughts so he got caught up with him. His ears drooped. On second thought, I think what I've got is a real stupid idea. I'll have you kids involved, and I don't want to put you on more danger than I already have. Stupid determined glare.
You got a plan to give those fuckers what they deserve, then you can count me in. Been itching to pay them back for what they did to you and my mother. There's no way you're keeping me out of this.
But...
I mean, we're already in hiding from those guys.
I'd rather meet them my own terms instead of waiting for them to come to us. And I've always wanted to be more of a family nuisance. I've happened to go all very well planned. Hey, count me in too. I missed out on way too much these past few days. You're not leaving me out of this one. There's a pause, and we all turn toward Philip, expectantly waiting for him to chime in. Bristle indignantly. What? Thought I established I don't do encouraging speeches.
Riveting. Inspiring.
He is such a way with words, doesn't he? Glad Philip is here to keep her spirits up. I hate all of you. Fine, don't get killed without me. Be dreadfully boring around here. Back towards Herschel, green widely.
Well, we're not taking no for an answer. All you have us do.
Hesitated before slowly smiling back. I guess I did promise to stop running away, didn't I? Alright, let's settle this debt once and for all. To be continued? Let me guess. Yeah, it's gonna be to be continued now. Yep. That's about right. Oh my god, this old art. They still he still hasn't changed it. Good grief. Jeez. That was a lot. That was a shit ton. Okay, wow. So much happened in that update, character-wise and emotions-wise, that I really don't know how to say anything about it other than that was really good. It's just, wow. It... Fucking Christ, man. It's not 8:21. Jeez. Whatever. Yeah, thank you for watching. This has been a video that I did, and it's gonna be unlisted for God knows how long until it's public. Did updates public, but oh well, I'm just gonna have to wait for that to happen. I'll see you. Fuck off now.